All right, we are live. Give me a second here. Let me just quickly live stream, copy paste, go to Telegram, send it over here. Okay, that should be good. Should be good to go. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, I just want to quickly talk about the current market structure. A little Sunday stream, not much to cover, just a few trade setups. What happened yesterday, we'll go over those trade setups and then kind of look for what we're looking out for this week. But I will start with Bitcoin, of course, is to see what's exactly going on. So you can see with Bitcoin pretty much, I mentioned this before too, is that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to the $100,000 zone. And usually when there's a lot of folks with the same narrative or the same idea, Bitcoin tends to do opposite of what the market thinks. And you can see that since we've lost the exponential moving averages earlier in Asia hours, you can see we had a very nice fake out. This fake out was where a lot of people were asking, can we go long? Can we go long? And I'll explain it on Doge as well. But this was the area where you wanted to be very careful of. You can see that the market came upwards and then, of course, a strong bearish engulfing. Then we retested the same exponential moving averages as resistance and had another free fall opportunity. Right now, what I'm paying attention to on Bitcoin for a trade setup from a short position is around the 95,642. The reason why is this is a major wick opportunity, a break of this wick, and you can see that there really isn't much stopping Bitcoin from dropping back down into the 93.4 region. It's going to present a very nice scalping opportunity, but of course we are on weekend volume, so instead we're simply just going to wait till the market comes to us. I am not looking for long positions here, right? This is very important. We are not looking for long positions here. It's because, again, we are now trading below the exponential moving averages. Pretty much this whole way through from yesterday's stream, I mentioned to you guys that, look, if Bitcoin ends up holding above the exponential moving averages, we are only looking for long positions all the way upwards. We've only been looking for long positions. But now, for the first time in a very long time, Bitcoin has actually broken below the exponential moving averages. I'm sure some of you are looking at this area right here too and saying, well, Bitcoin broke here as well. But no, you can see that Bitcoin had a candle close, but we were still near the exponential moving averages and we're still in sideways action. So this was just considered noise. Right now, though, we have a very clean break structure on Bitcoin, but we are not looking for long positions unless, of course, Bitcoin can overcome the EMAs and then retest them as support. Then we can start paying attention to the 100K region. Otherwise, right now, all we're doing is just letting Bitcoin do its thing. Most likely, we'll end up seeing a chop later into tomorrow morning and then see a continuation towards the downside if, of course, we end up losing 95.6. But that's all dependent on Asia hours later tonight. Right now, all I would simply do is just sit on my hands, see how Bitcoin reacts to the EMAs. If, of course, the exponential moving averages are retested as resistance again, then we are looking for that bearish setup to play. Now, looking at Bitcoin, of course, on the 4-hour time frame, a lot of times, a lot of traders say, well, Pingu, if we're looking for an EMA retest, why are we not going long? And the reason why we are not going long is because of the fact that if the market structure ends up rejecting from here, then the downside risk is a lot higher. We don't know whether or not we are going to see the exponential moving average retest on this 4-hour candlestick or, of course, the next 4-hour candlestick. We know that if the EMAs are going to retest, what we do know is what we can simply do is just pay attention to the retest and wait to see how it plays out. But if, of course, Bitcoin ends up doing something like this, and then we see a breakdown structure of the 95.6, then that is a very strong bearish setup, right? That's why you're better off just waiting for the wick low to break and then entering a short instead of just playing this chop opportunity in between. Ethereum, same sort of situation. I wasn't really interested in Ethereum for quite a few days now is because there really wasn't much of a setup, right? You can see that we were still hovering above the exponential moving averages. We had a nice retest of 3,400, but I wasn't interested in long positions on Ethereum. I actually haven't talked about Ethereum at all pretty much the past few days, but this is something that was very interesting, and I want you guys to pay attention here. Some of you will probably already notice it, but Ethereum right now had a manipulation candlestick at 31.44. And for those of you that remember, manipulation candlesticks, when they start and the market ends up breaking structure, that's most likely where things are about to head back down. And that's exactly what we're paying attention to on Ethereum. And same thing like Bitcoin, again, same wick opportunity. If we end up losing this wick low here at 32.56, you can enter a very nice scalp short opportunity on Ethereum as well. And it lines up with Bitcoin scalp short as well. If Bitcoin heads back into the 93,000, that will put Ethereum into around the $3,100 range as well. So this is kind of how you can trade and kind of how you can understand what the market is going to possibly do. And this is why the setups are like this, right? So if Bitcoin is bearish, then we know Ethereum is also bearish, and we can kind of identify where exactly the wick opportunities we want to pay attention to as of right now. And the reason why I'm saying bearish is because we are below the exponential moving averages. That is the only indicator that I use on the 4-hour time frames for the intraday to know whether or not we are looking for long setups or, of course, short setups. If we're trading below the EMAs, then we are simply looking for shorting opportunities. And a perfect example of this, you can see even on Ethereum, was during the massive breakout formation of 2400. As soon as we broke out, we pretty much longed the whole way, right? All the way up, because again, we were scalping longs because we were using the EMAs as support. And now you can see the same idea or same example, multiple examples rather, is when Ethereum broke down the exponential moving averages. So I would say we are trading right here, right now in the current market structure. But when we broke down from the exponential moving averages, you can see every single time we used them as resistance, we were entering shorting opportunities. And that's pretty much to make things a lot easier for you instead of course, trying to figure out, okay, where do I long, where do I short? Is just follow with the exponential moving averages, right? So as long as the EMAs, of course, are trading above, we long. As long as the EMAs are trading below, we short. So that brings me to my next point on Doge, right? Now, Doge, of course, last night ended up seeing the moves that happened before Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, in order for Doge to be bullish, and I'll explain to you guys a few things, and you'll probably, some of you probably noticed this already, but let's look at the 4-hour structure on Doge. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, we had the initial break of 41 or 42 cents, right? This was considered the midterm resistance with a wick high. This is where we saw the breakout structure. We entered a long position. I told you guys the next structure is, of course, 44 cents, and it's going to be important for Doge to hold that level as support. Some of you guys have commented Doge has held that level as support. Pingu, we held that level as support. Where? I need to know where, because I need to know where you guys are seeing this. Doge did, in fact, break above 44 cents. We saw a wick into 48, yes, but I don't see the support level being held. We didn't even get a retest of the support. Instead, Doge actually saw a bearish engulfing candle break support, break the EMAs, and then look what happened, right? So yesterday, a lot of you guys said, whoa, Pingu, we're above the exponential moving averages. Doge is now retesting 44 cents. Can we long? And I said the same thing. No. The reason why is because the only time we are now going to go long on Doge is if we are above the wick high of 48. That is the only confirmation we really have on Doge as of right now. You can see market structure came back down, retested as resistance, right? So now it flipped the area of resistance, now flipped again. We saw another resistance retest and then a bearish engulfing breaking below the EMAs. And now look what's happening, right? Doge is now testing the same exponential moving averages as resistance as well. That's multiple bearish confirmations on the 4-hour time frame where you have to be very, very careful. And of course, if the market structure does end up breaking below this zone again, then there is a bigger problem on Doge. And that bigger problem is, of course, the 35-cent region support. I've talked about this level multiple times, and if we look here, you can see that this is getting extremely dangerous, and the bulls need to break back above the EMAs during weekend volume, is because if Doge ends up free falling here again at 40 cents, and we end up free falling back down, 35 cents has already been tested multiple times. You can see, in fact, that we've tested this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times already. 8 times on a support level retest. The more times a support level is tested, the higher chances of it actually breaking. And you can see that if the market structure ends up falling back down again, with Bitcoin leading into 93 and Ethereum to 3100, it places a very high sell pressure on Doge. And if, of course, we do end up breaking 35, there really isn't stopping much from Doge collapsing, right? That's the worry part, is because if Doge ends up breaking below 35, the first area of support is 29. But again, 9 out of 10 times, we don't see a BART formation like this ever stop halfway. It usually goes all the way back down. And that's the scary part for Doge right now, is this sort of situation can easily play out. We've seen these BART formations on 4-hour time since play out for Doge many times before. And of course, it would be unfortunate for a lot of people. But again, the market needs to have some sort of flush opportunity. Does that mean that all of a sudden we start panic closing all of our positions? We start looking for short opportunities here? No, it does not mean that. It simply means to pay attention to the 35-cent support. That's all you really have to do. If the 35 support level is lost, then of course you can decide how you want to play it. Otherwise, let the market play its chop, right? You can see the same chop opportunity happen right here. We saw the same exact formation right here, right? Market ended up hitting resistance, breaking below. We had a fake out. A lot of people got scared. They started closing too early. And then, of course, the market came back up. Unless, of course, a support level is broken. So unless we have confirmation of a support level breaking, I don't care. There's no reason to panic. We have to trade what reality is, right? That's what we know. So what do we know? Right now, we know that, yes, we have rejected off 44. We're below the EMAs. That's as far as we know. Do we know the fact that if 35 cents level is going to happen right away? No, we don't know that, right? Because we are on weekend volume. So all we really have to do is just let the market come to us. As the market continues to chop sideways, we can decide how we want to play it. If it starts doing something like this, then of course you can enter shorts based on the fact that we are now re-entering the 35-cent support level. That much is guaranteed. So we would know, so I'll give you an example of this. So you can see right here, we had the same sort of chop opportunity on Doge, right? So right here, we had the same exact chop, whatever. But then you saw the market end up breaking below. And then, of course, we started heading back down into 35 cents. So what we knew was, okay, we are going to go ahead and test the 35-cent support level. We didn't know if the 35-cent support level was going to hold or break, right? We didn't know that, but what we did know was it was at least going to test. So that presented a nice scalp opportunity. Right now, we don't have the same structure set up, right? We're just simply hovering below the exponential moving averages. Everything right now is dependent on Bitcoin, and that isn't a trade setup. And again, for those of you that want to long or, of course, look for the long position, the only time I would long Doge now is that because there's a few reasons why. Number one, we've already traded the 42-cent resistance, right? So we've already traded that breakout opportunity. I don't like double dipping on the same trade setup twice because, again, if it's already broken, then that support or resistance level already becomes weak. So we already know that, yes, if it breaks, it's not going to do that same sort of initial move it did here. It probably just do something like this and then something like that, right? So there's no reason to enter the trade setup based on resistance again. Number two, we broke the 44-cent region as well. So that was a second trade, right? So we already did that as well. The problem is right now is the next wick high is at 48. That's the only time I'm looking for long positions on Doge is if we're above the 48-cent region. Then I can scalp longs on Doge. Otherwise, right now what this is simply a waiting game and a chop game. Let the market chop in between and decide which way it wants to go. You guys remember I didn't make a Doge video for a few days when we were trading this chop opportunity right here, right? Because there was no video to make. There was no update on Doge to make. I don't want to sit there and say the same thing every single day on every single video and say, okay, guys, we're waiting for 35, but we're waiting for 40, right? So we're waiting for this consolidation to play. Imagine me making a video every single day talking about the same thing, and then the market does this sideways. There's no reason to. And right now, I'm trying to explain to you guys the same thing. The market right now is in the same sort of situation. Now that we've broken below the exponential moving averages, we have to be very careful with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Doge, with everything. We have to be very careful because right now the market is showing its hand. It's showing the fact that, of course, if we end up losing these support levels, we are going to see another cascade. I talked about this in yesterday's live stream as well, right? I talked about this and said, look, right now the market has seen a massive parabolic run. If you go on TikTok right now, you're going to see at least 20 to 30 live streams of people trying to pump meme coins that are sitting at 50K market caps. People that don't understand crypto are trying to push coins and trying to understand it. And that usually for me is somewhat of a local top position. I remember back in the previous bull run during, I think October or September, I remember going on TikTok. And the first video I found was some girl who does fashion pages. She was talking about Bitcoin and saying that I just bought this meme coin that's going to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, there are certain signs in the market, and I'm not saying the bull run is over, but I'm saying when everyone is making money, when everyone is doing well, the market tends to see flush opportunities to wipe out those that are over leveraged, or of course, those that are new to the market and trying to figure it out and push things. The market has a very humbling experience for them. And that right now is where I'm sitting at. There are a lot of local top kind of situations that are happening, but again, I'm not saying it's the top of Bitcoin. I'm not saying the bull run is over. We're not even close to finishing where the bull run is at, but we have to be very careful. And mostly trading for the exponential moving averages, we have to be very, very, very careful. Sorry, I'm just removing these stupid bot comments in here. I don't know why we have them. Anyways, so what we're looking for, of course, is on the exponential moving average, a break structure above, and then we can, of course, look for long positions. But I want to explain the psychological stuff about trading, right? So today's topic is, of course, psychological, when to look for profits, when to pay attention to things, and how you can trade effectively for the long term. I'm going to use Bitcoin as an example, right? And this is going to be a very easy example because, again, we were trading above the exponential moving averages for a very long time. But I'll start from the bottom when we were not trading above the exponential moving averages and kind of how I traded this, why I knew it was going to be bullish, and then just kind of give you guys the overall perspective. So how you can effectively use it for the long term. So let's start off with the Trump candle. This was the Trump candle, right? This was 69.4, and one day we broke into 75. The all-time high on Bitcoin, I'll change the line so everyone can pay attention. We'll make it a different color, which color we've never traded before. Let's go with aqua. So there you go. So 73,713 was the all-time high on Bitcoin. So what did I see when we were trading this move set? So simply, there's two things. Number one, the market is always going to have noise, right? The election noise, the news noise, the war noise, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world, there is going to be noise in the market. But what you have to do as a trader is identify trends and patterns. And what I noticed that day was Bitcoin was in a V-shaped formation, right? And for V-shaped formations to play out, any break above these resistance levels, so this was my confirmation on why I took the trade. And you guys remember, it's probably our best trade we've ever taken. Right here. So right here, you can see on Bitcoin, the V-shaped formation became validated, right? Because this was a major midterm resistance at 70,512. You can see Bitcoin rejected off that level multiple times, but then when we actually broke out of that level, where did I know to take profit? Well, taking profit is dependent on everyone, right? So everyone's different, but the idea is there's a level that I will always give you. I will give you a level and say, this is the next level. For example, I'll give you guys a level setup, and this is just a quick little example, subtle sidetrack, but just a quick little example. I gave you the level of 257 on Solana, right? And I said, look, if 248 breaks, Solana goes to 257. That is my job as your whatever you want to call me. That is my job. My job is to give you the accurate levels and accurate plays. Your job is to know when to take your own profits. And you can see if you traded this trade, regardless of how you traded it, you traded the break, it went all the way up to 253, you profited. You could have swung the trade here at 257, you profited. Regardless, there's multiple ways you can trade this setup. But going back to the V-shape on the bull run here, the overall move set on Bitcoin, I knew was going to be the top of the wick high. Where is that? The top of the wick high is right here, right under all-time high. Now, this is where the psychological standpoint comes from trading. I knew that, hey, if Bitcoin were to go into the 73,000 range again, that is where all-time high is. That is where a lot of folks are going to be putting a lot of pressure on Bitcoin. And if Trump does end up winning, that's a bullish market cycle for everyone, right? So we took the long position the whole way through. We didn't stop taking longs. And even after all-time high, we didn't stop taking longs. And the reason for that is now the market psychological changed, right? Market psychology changed, and a lot of people now realize that, hey, that Bitcoin stuff is coming back. Hey, that Bitcoin stuff is going up. Whoa, what? I wonder what my Doge bag is at. I wonder what my Shiba bag is at. That's what happened to retail. The minute Bitcoin broke all-time high, we had an influx of volume coming into the market because, again, Trump won. Now everyone and people knew he was bullish on crypto. And then that's where we saw a continuation trade. And look what happened next. And this is why I tell you guys, we are not shorting all-time high. Market didn't ever come back to this entry, did it? Right? So at 69.2, if you entered a short, or even here at 72, it never came back, right? You never had that opportunity again to short. And I'm giving an example because I have someone who ended up counter trading me, and he's messaged me and he said, hey, your technical analysis is wrong. I think the market's going to crash, and I'm opening up short positions to counter trade you. He still has those positions open. Imagine, he still has those positions open from down here at 72. And now the market, since then, has never came back to that entry, right? Look, I'm doing, like, this has never happened. And the reason why I knew this, right? So the reason why I knew this was going to happen is just simply experience, guys. I leverage traded 7 years of this market. This is the exact same setup that happened down here at the previous all-time high. We didn't have Trump, we didn't have anything, but we had the market psychological. We had the same breakout here at 19, and look what happened. Market blew up, and this is the mistake I made, right? So I shorted this, and I got liquidated here back in the day. And I remember, once you learn from a liquidation, you will never make the same mistake twice. I never made the same mistake twice. This time around, when the market ended up seeing that breakout all-time high, look what happened, right? So we never came back to the same zone. The market kept pushing higher. And that's the point of the conversation, is you will know and start to learn how you can effectively trade the market regardless of where we are sitting. That is where the wick opportunities come into play. And here is a perfect example of this, right? So let's go back on the 4-hour time frame and let's see how you can trade wick setups. So here's a setup for you. And it's funny because I still have these lines drawn randomly because I was kind of showing you guys how to trade these setups. But the market is extremely volatile. Yes, everyone can agree that. The market's a bull cycle, we're all volatile. And when you're trading all-time high, there's nothing you can go off. Again, technical analysis is trading on past events. But when you're trading at all-time high, how can you know where the past event is going to be? You don't, because there is no past event. There is no level you can trade off of. So how can you trade when you're trading all-time high? And this can go for Doge, this can go for Ethereum, because the conversation hasn't happened yet for these coins yet. That's why I'm trying to teach this to you now, is because when the conversation of Doge hitting 80 cents happens, everyone's going to be like, Pingu, what's next? What's next? And that's the problem. So I want to teach you guys this now so you understand. Market doesn't just go up, right? It doesn't just go straight up. There is always some sort of consolidation that happens, and then we continue pushing higher. So right now you can see on Bitcoin, when we traded the all-time high candle, right? So 73.7, we broke above, cool. We saw the market create a new wick high. The new wick high, of course, was trading at 75.367. So all you really had to do was just wait for the entry. The minute market structure ended up breaking above, and I'll start doing these with red. So the minute market structure ended up breaking above, you enter a long position and you scalp the range, right? You're scalping the range. Nobody knows when the market is going to reverse. Nobody knows is when the market is going to see a comeback, right? So that's why you have to be very careful here, right? It's because we don't know when exactly we're going to see reversal. What we do know, though, is when we are trading these wick highs, we are locking in those profits, right? So you can see same setup happened here. Market broke above. And again, you can see that as the market pushes higher, it gets more and more dangerous. So before, this candlestick high was trading at 75.2. We got a candlestick trading all the way up into, let's say, 76,000, whatever, as a scalp long. That's awesome. But then the same problem happened again, right? So now we're trading a wick high here at 76,500, and then we only got a trade of 76,800. So it's about a $300 Bitcoin trade. That's the issue. The higher the market pushes upwards, the riskier it becomes to scalp. But it is not, the issue isn't profit. So again, the issue is it becomes harder to scalp. And what I mean by that, it is harder to know when to take your profits. But it doesn't mean that you will not get profit. That's the end story here, is every single wick high that was traded on Bitcoin through this channel, every single wick high, every single one, 77,641, wick high created. Next one. So again, so I'm just going to keep doing this. Next one. Right there, wick high created. It just keeps going, right? So the whole way through Bitcoin, every single time. Remember our $81,000 trade, right? So same setup. So again, this is where I tell you guys to scalp. Market ended up breaking wick high. We got $81,900, $600 trade. Whoa, what happened the next candle? Market came back down, right? So whoa, everyone got scared. And then again, the same wick high was created. Market broke. Next candle broke above. Now what happened next? Market came down next candle. broke wick high, enter a long position. Market came back down, broke wick high, enter a long candle. Market came back down, broke wick high, enter a long candle. Do you see what I'm trying to explain here? Is that market kept pushing higher and higher, but we kept looking for long positions, right? So that's why I tell you guys, there's no reason for you to be paying attention to the overall swing areas when we know that the market is going to continue pushing higher. You don't necessarily have to worry too much, as again, everything is long. The market's bullish. We're making money. The reason why we are not swinging, though, is because of the market volatility. And I'll give you an example of this. If we were scalpers at 86,500, we entered a nice long position. Cool, we made money. But now if you want to swing Bitcoin to 100,000, look what happened next. You enter a long position at 89 because you say, oh, well, we're going to 100 no matter what. And market comes back down to 85. That's a $4,900 drop in a 4-hour candlestick, right? And that's why I tell you guys, within a 4-hour candlestick, there's a lot of price movements that happen. For the person that entered a long here and scalped the range, they ended up closing in profit. Now, for the person that's swinging here, they're playing the whole consolidation and end up getting wrecked. And that's why I tell you guys, there is two types of capitulation. There is capitulation in just general trading, and there is time capitulation. And time capitulation basically means is you start panic closing your positions because they're not doing anything. Now, pretty much since this live stream started, I told you guys, look, right now we're trading below our exponential moving averages. That goes for Doge, that goes for Ethereum, that goes for everything. There is no long setup as of right now because the market has decided to change its change. We are now trading below the EMAs. We are not looking for long positions. You can see when I started this stream, I said, look, we don't know if these EMAs are going to retest, right? And now you can see that, look, it went up to 96.7 and then rejected back down to 96,000. $800 drops in 30 minutes since the stream started. Right now, the market is leaning towards a bearish setup. What are we going to do? We are not trading this chop. We are simply just waiting for this support level to end up breaking, and then we can enter a short. Same thing with Ethereum. You can see we got the EMA retest, but again, if we end up losing 32.56, we end up short. Same thing with Doge. Yes, we ended up hitting our exponential moving average retest, but again, we are not shorting until 35 cents support. Short. That is the point. You can see we are not these kind of traders. We are not the traders that like consolidation trading, choppiness. We don't trade that. All we do is we simply let the market come to us. And once the market comes to us, we can decide what we want to do. Would I be looking for a long position on Doge here? No, because again, we are now trading below our exponential moving averages and retesting them as resistance, right? So what we want to wait for is market structure breaks above, retest as support, and then you can look for a long position, or simply just wait for the wick high to break and then enter a long. Otherwise, let the market come to you. If the market decides later tonight or tomorrow morning that we're just going to chop all the way back down to 35 cents and then we end up losing 35 cents, that's your confirmation to short. Otherwise, just let the market do its thing. This doesn't mean that, oh my God, Pingu is bearish and he's talking about my bags going to zero. That's not the point of the conversation. If you're taking it like that, you don't understand how to trade, nor will you ever be successful in this bull market. There are certain criteria and certain areas where coins will end up going, retesting, and then continuing forward. I am not saying we are in a bear market. I'm not saying Doge is going to zero or that this 48 cents was the last high we're ever going to see for the next year. That's not the conversation. The conversation is to pay attention to what Doge does, and there are certain levels where you can either re-enter long positions or, of course, buy more for dollar cost averaging for your spot positions. Doge will hit $1 this cycle. How do I know that? Is because in the previous cycle, it's pretty much simple math for you guys here. Previous cycle, Bitcoin hit 67,000 something, right? And Doge was sitting at 76 cents near the end of the bull run. Bitcoin currently right now is trading at 96,000, right? 96,000, and Doge is currently hovering at 40 cents. So from a risk to reward ratio, if you know that Bitcoin was sitting at 67 and Doge hit 76 cents, Doge has not hit all-time high. The question does not become is Doge going to hit $1? It is not a question of is it, or rather if, it's a question about when. When is Doge going to hit that $1 mark? And that's my point of this conversation is, guys, Some of you take this too literal and you become too emotional with this sort of stuff, right? Oh, Pingu, it didn't do this and then it didn't do that and then it went down and went up. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about how you want to marry your base. I don't care. My job in this market is to make you guys as much money and give you guys the level structures ahead. That is my job. Regardless of how you want to take it, that is up to you. If I tell you, look, this level is the level I'm going to be paying attention to, then that is the level we're paying attention to, right? You can see 44 cents when it broke, we pushed above. A lot of people were like, whoa, great, we made money, right? Some people were like, it only went up 3 cents and then it went down. No, I don't care. I really don't care. The point of the conversation is the fact that it went up and it broke and we squeezed and it played out. I don't know if it's going to go from here all the way to 75 cents. That is not the conversation. There are certain criteria, though, to know if it's going to happen. Number one criteria would have been a retest of support and then a break. Yes, then we are now concluded the 44 cent level has broken above, retested as support, and now we are in a strong bull market for Doge. Instead, we reject it, right? We reject it. A lot of people became emotional, and now I was doing this live stream, and so I was like, oh, whoa, my bags. So my bags. Should I sell? Should I? Guys, what is going on? We've gone from 44 cents to 41 cents, and now everyone's selling their spot bags because we're down 3 cents. Get a grip. Get a grip, folks. The market's going to be volatile. We're going to be moving 10, 20, 30 cents within the next few months. If you can't handle these price actions, then you're not ready to make money anyways. And again, the conversation becomes, is if you are panicking over a 3 cent move on Doge, you are over invested. Go outside, touch some grass, and come back inside. Seriously, you are over invested. I don't care. I see Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's people that have traded hundreds of millions of dollars here. They don't give a shit about $50, $60 move sets. You guys, some of you guys are panicking over 3 cents. Like me saying, okay, Doge is below the exponential moving averages. We are now a bearish setup. Dude, some people think I just I killed their family. They're like, whoa, what did you just say? What did you say about the exponential being below? Bearish? I'm selling. Like, no, that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is right now, the market structure has switched from a bullish breakout into now using it as resistance. What do we know? We know the fact that 44 cent level did not end up holding. We know the fact that it ended up rejecting. So this was a candle rejection. And now we know the fact that the EMAs are now trading below. There's 3 things that we know about Doge, right? What we don't know is what's going to happen at the 35 cent region. If the market starts pushing down, we know the fact that 35 is going to be tested. We know that, so we can enter a short scalp. If it breaks, then what's next? The 29 cent region. What's next? The 21 cent region, right? That's what we know. Right now, I can't sit here and no one can sit here and tell you, okay, guys, on January 7th, 2025, Doge is going to be trading at $3. Bro, if you want that kind of trading, there's probably 50 YouTubers that you can go watch right now and just type in Doge, and you're going to see some clickbait thumbnails of $5 Doge, $6 Doge by this date. Go ahead, watch them. You can go ahead and do that. I don't care. Like, I'm happy to continue doing what I'm doing because I've been doing this for 7 years. And there's a point of experience that comes with this. And that's my goal for you guys, and so you can start identifying this for overall. I'm not here to make you panic. I'm not here to make you close your spot positions. The end goal, folks, the end goal for everyone is to make money in this market. My job is to simply tell you where exactly the money is going to be. That is it. I don't charge for anything. I don't have a VIP group. I'm not a signal provider. I am just one penguin that likes to chart. And so far, all of my technical analysis from all of the YouTube videos has played out. And that is my point, is again, I am the realistic perspective here for a lot of you. I am not saying that, oh my God, Doge is below the exponential moving averages, we're going to zero. That is not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is to be cautious. Me saying be cautious doesn't mean, okay, I got 2 million Doge, I'm selling. No, that is not the point of the conversation. If you are up a lot of money from Doge, and again, I'm being very realistic with you. If you are up a lot of money in general, I'm not even saying Doge, let's say Bitcoin, XRP, whatever the hell you have. Take some profits, go outside, touch some grass, spend some time with your family, go buy something. It is okay to take profits, guys. And that's the point, is I don't need to sit here and hold your hand and say, okay, go ahead, do this. I don't need to do that. Go do it yourself. You know how much money is good for you. You know how much your bills are. You know how much it's going to change your family's life. And if it isn't, take your profits. I don't care how much the market goes up. It does not matter to me, guys. At the end of the day, it is up to you as traders to take your own profits. And that's the point of Doge, okay? So again, long term, we are bullish on Doge. Short term, we have to be very careful on Doge. And again, if we lose 35 cents, then yes, things are going to get ugly very fast. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to be realistic. Oh, look at Bitcoin, right? So while we've been talking, Bitcoin right now is, again, heading back into 95.6. If we end up losing this wick low, we end up seeing another free fall opportunity down into 94. That is where the move sets are. That's where things are likely to go. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line here, okay? So this line, we'll come back to it tomorrow or another day when we hit that 94, and I'll be like, oh, remember that line I drew? And I said, hey, if 95 breaks, and this is where we enter. Cool. So, again, with Doge, are we shorting right now with Doge? No, we're not. Why? Because, again, we have no confirmation. So if we don't have a confirmation, we're not shorting. We're waiting for 35 cents. If that breaks, then you short, right? So you short what you know. Do we know what's going to happen here? Do we know if Doge is going to break above? Do we know if it's going to break below? No, this is considered a consolidation zone. We don't trade consolidation zones. Anyways, my Telegram is completely free. I have put it in the comment section for you if you guys are interested. It is completely free. I don't have a VIP group. I don't have a course. I don't have anything. I'm just someone that likes to trade and give levels. It is a completely free channel with all of my trade setups. Thank you guys so much for coming. 124 viewers. This is probably the most I've ever had on the stream. Means a lot to me for you guys to take 30 minutes out of your days and sit here and listen to me yap about random stuff. So thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I will continue looking for trade setups later tonight, but right now the only trade setup we have is Bitcoin. And again, if we end up losing 95.6, we are looking for shorting opportunities. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, thank you so much for coming. And I hope you guys learned something from this. So anyways, have a good day, guys. Peace out.